What up, world and the internet? It's your boys, and we're back with another episode of Just No BS podcast. As always, I've been your boy John, and I'm always joined with my two co-hosts,
Dev.
Yeah.
and we back at it. I think this is our first episode where we're back to back in a minute, bro. What y'all thinking? Nope, I wasn't here last week. I was on vacation.
Exactly. I was gonna
say.
We can't do that. We might just have to throw them at y'all sporadically, give y'all a little bit, disappear, come back. Y'all can't get too used to this.
Hmm.
Especially not Cal.
With the deadbeat dads. That's how we're gonna play.
Hey, don't put that on us. Don't do that.
I like to think that we're gone just long enough for you to miss us, but not long enough for you to forget us.
The rule of appropriate distance.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But since it's been a little bit, let's do some quick hitters, talk about some stuff that we've seen over the last week. First things first, we're going to start off with the, not even a heavy topic, the little ridiculousness. Did y'all hear that Offset's trying to get spousal support from Cardi B?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I didn't hear about that today, and I started reading up on it, and I'm like, are you serious?
Because supposedly at first they were going to handle things amicably, and then they're not. So, this legal battle, here we go.
That's the world. And that's messed up because if he would have listened to a lot of the people who were like true hip hop fans, a lot of people were telling him when Takeoff was still alive, like, y'all need to be together. Like, y'all are not gonna thrive as solo acts as well as you are together. And of course, like, Offset is like, nah, bump that. Like, the natural progression of groups is like the star breaks away, and he was like in verses saying like, I'm Michael, not Tito. And Quavo's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna do my own thing. So they're like, and of course, them by themselves never did as good as they did together. Either one of them. I think Quavo's in a little bit better position because he just had that. It was a rock record. The I Want to Get Away rock record. He like repurposed it and it was playing on commercials for a little bit, but that's really it, honestly. And Takeoff dying obviously had a big impact, but I think he's just in a position now to where it's like same thing with DDG, like the rest of these guys, like trying to stay relevant off the women that they had children with. Um, I think it's corny, but hey, man, what can you do?
So, I didn't have it on our plan to talk about it today, just because we're still, catching up a little bit. But apparently, there's a new development in that whole DDG versus Haley Bailey thing, where like now he's claiming she's mentally unfit and trying to show all this other stuff. This is why you get a temporary injunction, and it make people separate for their safety. Because once the stuff gets put together, there's going to be a huge legal battle. So before you get to that legal battle, you separate the parties. You don't let them stay together, because who knows what could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that at this point, I'm just going to wait for the documents to come out, and then the documentary. I don't even. It's ridiculous now. But yeah, on the spousal support side of things for Cardi B and Offset, people talk too much. I gotta say, people act like they understand what it means. Like us, people try to act like we know what it means to have millions of dollars. If the last estimates are correct, Cardi B is currently worth somewhere between 80 and 100 million, and then Offset, he's worth somewhere between 30 to 40 million, if I heard correctly. I don't have that kind of money, so I can't fundamentally understand what that level is like. But I have a feeling there's probably a good chance Cardi B's gonna have to shell out some cash.
Which is mind-blowing when you think about it, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Offset the one who cheated on Cardi B?
Multiple
And that's
times.
what kind of started that whole divorce in the first place?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's the one who screwed up,
Yeah.
from what I'm hearing now, multiple times. And you're saying that he's got, at least from our point of view, money to more than take care of himself. So he doesn't really need it. So this is really just being petty.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure, I'm
I
connecting all the
would.
dots here.
I don't like putting emotions in people's pockets. Like people don't like pocket watching for money. I don't like emotion watching, but just given our current legal system, there's a good chance he'll probably wind up getting something. I don't have that kind of money, so I'm not gonna put no numbers on it, but he'll probably wind up getting something. Just and the reason is probably because of their history. They've been together since before she was popping, and he was big before she was. There's just that throughout the relationship, the roles have kind of flipped, and she's become quote unquote the breadwinner. They're both breadwinners, but air quotes for you people that can't see me. So, just knowing our current system, it's probably likely he's going to get something. Right or wrong,
Because
don't matter.
his legal team's probably going to make the argument that she wouldn't have gotten to where she was without him and his finances and so on and so forth. And
Yep.
that's
Potentially,
the common argument.
Or
Yeah.
the other argument that white women use when they're the gold diggers in situations like, oh, our child needs to maintain the same type of lifestyle that they would have had if we were together still. Because that's how a lot of women, not just white women, but a lot of women, if they're like married to athletes or like company founders, whatever the case may be, they're like, oh, we have a standard of living that the child needs to be at. And then the judge is kind of like, well, technically you are right. So, yeah.
well, that's the thing. It's not even really the argument. That's the point of spousal or alimony or any kind of support. Is to maintain the child's lifestyle if the two parents are together. That is the legal reason of these systems. So even then, it's like they don't really make the argument. They're just kind of saying, "Hey, judge, the point we're here is this. This is what we need." So it's like that. Whether you believe that's morally right or ethically right is not the point. It's the system we live in. So at the end of the day, he's probably going to wind up getting something. Now, the one world where I see where he probably doesn't, where Cardi could potentially not give him anything, I don't think it's going to happen just on precedent, but is that if she can fundamentally prove that he does fundamentally nothing, they don't live with him, they don't stay with him, and if she got all the receipts for at least like, I don't know, 2-3 years, there's a good chance he could get denied. But again, I'm no lawyer. This is not legal advice. We are not legal experts. We're just going from what we've seen throughout celebrity fights over history. Like, heck, I think Brad Pitt still pays Angelina Jolie some. So like, and those are the ones we grew up in our good old days, the 90s. So, hey, again, we are not legal experts. I'm not trying to say nothing. We're just saying it how it is. So, so yeah, that's first kind of quick thing. Nothing really much else to go on. Let's pivot to some little more fun stuff. NBA Finals. Who y'all got? Actually, the first game starts today. By the time I'm recording this,
I kind of I want the Pacers to win, to be honest. Um, I don't. Shea is a great scorer on OKC, don't get me wrong. Like I always prefer players who are like dangerous in the mid range because that's how you make a team respect you everywhere on the floor. Because everybody's shooting from three. We know that. And if you can't be in the NBA if you can't lay up or dunk, period, point blank. So we know the two places that you can and probably will score from. But when you can score from like 15 feet out or whatever, now the defense doesn't know what the play run is going to be. I like their roster, but I would just like to see something happen that hasn't happened before, for real. Which, again, I know OKC is young and they're a spinoff of the Seattle Supersonics. Um, but like as a kid growing up in a Bulls household, like Reggie Miller never won anything. So the fact that Reggie Miller's commentating now, he gets a chance to like see his franchise actually win something. Um, and I think that would be really cool just as a storyline. Even though Halliburton's very, very cringy. Very, very cringy, brother. Very, very cringy, brother. He's very talented. And I think both of these teams, regardless of what happens, it's going to be the start of dynasties on both sides. Everybody's young. people are pretty much good as far as injuries are concerned, and they all just have great chemistry. They seem to all be happy playing around each other, which I think is really cool. So I got I got I got Indiana in six. Indiana in 6 games.
Ironically enough, I got it in the other direction. I got OKC in 6.
Mm, okay.
Now, but
Okay.
again, I've been seeing a lot of people saying that the Pacers are going to get washed. I don't think so. Them brothers is too good. I'm saying OKC in 6 because I respect the Pacers. They're going to get a couple.
Yeah.
I give them that respect. They're going to get a couple. For me, I just kind of want to see OKC do it, bro. Like from the '90s, I got mad respect for the Supersonics,
Yeah.
and then the fact that OKC, especially Shea, he's been the one that's like, I'm not causing no issues. I'm balling. I'm hooping. I'm doing things the right way. I got respect for that. So I kind of want to see OKC do it, especially after the way they lost last year, being the first seed. This year, again, running it back and being better. I kind of want to see them do it, especially since after not this year, but the year after next, they're not gonna be able to maintain that team just on the money and stuff. So like, I definitely I want teams to be able to do it when they're at their power, not before the BS of the league in terms of like business of it kicks in. So while them boys is hooping, I kind of want to see them do it. But I wouldn't be mad if the Pacers won it either. I'm just hoping for OKC. And I know Devin, you're not
Gotcha.
really one for the sports ball, but any flips, any coin flips?
Honestly, I'm pretty neutral on it. I will go and say that I am going to be watching all the games this time around. So, um, honestly, I'm just going in. I just want to see, a really good game, all the way through.
Fair up,
Like,
fair
I
up.
don't want something where it's just like, oh, hey, the first couple games are not really trying all that hard. Just kind of going through the motions till the. No, I want to go and see it, like, from the beginning to the end, like, you are going hard. And then by the very end, you're like, look, both teams are tired. We're exhausted, but we're still out here trying to win. That's what I want to see out of a championship. So
Fair
I'm hoping
enough.
for it.
I will say the one thing I am happy about, and I'm like, when it comes to basketball, especially in this current era, I'm like the anti fan. I don't want to see like I don't want to see a dynasty we've seen already. Like when Boston won last year, I was just like, these brothers did not repeat. Not because I hate that team. I'm just tired of seeing Boston have 16. I want to see Boston and Lakers at 17 and whatever they've got for like the next 50 years. Like I want to see other brothers win it. Like except maybe Charlotte because that organization's trash. But I want to see some other organizations win it. People complaining about parity and lack of dynasties. Bump that. I want to see. I'm loving this era where no one knows who's gonna win. I'm loving it.
Hmm.
I'm straight up.
One of these, maybe next, the show after next or something like that. I do want to talk about like legacy media and why they're dying. Like not even just sports legacy media, but like I'm a big hip hop fan. Like hip hop legacy media is ass too. Like the complex. What was the other one? Like it was a few. I
Genius complex.
Genius Complex. I forget who owns the Breakfast Club. Um,
Oh, revolt.
Revolt. Okay, like Hot 97. All of them. Like people only really like covering stories of like legacy acts. Ironically enough, they only like oh LeBron compared to Jordan. Is he gonna win the championship and match Jordan? Tom Brady. Da
Bro.
da da da.
Speaking of that, I'm getting tired of them talking about who's gonna be the next face of the league. How about we
Yeah.
do it the way we used to do it? Let them ball, and then history tells us who the face of the dang league was.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
Like I don't and I think that's ass because of essentially what you just said, Jay Zoda, where people would be like they complained all throughout my high school. No, all throughout middle school, into middle school, all throughout my high school, the start of my college career, everybody's pissing and moaning about super teams. Oh, it's destroying basketball. Oh, it's blah, 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 blah. And it's all LeBron this, just cursing LeBron's name every turn. And now that the league has shifted away from, like, for the most part, shifted away from super teams and the organizations that winning, now everybody's pissing and moaning. And it's like, we don't know these young guys. It's uninteresting to watch. It's like, no, you have to actually be a freaking journalist now and watch this stuff from start to finish, develop your own opinions, and actually report on it accurately. Same thing with hip hop. I felt like Kendrick and Drake gave new lifeblood back to legacy media last year because it was two of the biggest guys in the genre clashing. So they're able to just like run with narratives and spin off of it. But now that that's kind of died down, they're kind of like the hip hop industry is kind of like in a cold war, like a quiet cold war right now. So where sides are being picked, labels are in lawsuits, other people are suing other people, blah blah blah. Now they don't know what to do. Now all they can report is, oh, who got caught up in a RICO, who murdered who, whose baby moms is da da. Like, fucking report, bro. Who's the new artist? Where's the new hotbed coming from in hip hop? Like, what? Do some actual reporting. But maybe next time. Maybe next.
Oh no, I feel you. We can definitely hit that one. Definitely write that in your book for the future, bro.
I got you.
All right. So I think that's that. You know, it's hope like I agree with Devin. It should be a good finals. So let's hit on some couple last minute things here before we hit to our main topic because it all things considered, if you've been off the internet, if you touched some grass, it's actually been a pretty quiet week. So you know what? We're gonna just keep it pushing. So if you've been under a rock, the Switch 2 came out today. Any thoughts?
No, I'm wait and see for me.
Same. Honestly, like at its current price point, I'm not particularly interested in getting it just yet. Despite the fact, for the briefest of moments, there's one game that they did a remaster where I'm like, okay, you could have sold me if it was like a little bit cheaper, but no, I'll wait.
Yeah, and I fundamentally said this before. When we first talked about it back when it was we got the teaser, so that's probably like I don't know 10 episodes ago, something like that. But gaming is a hobby. Yeah, it's looking pricey. Yeah, it probably shouldn't be at these current price points, but you gotta remember it's a hobby. So forget all of the drama. If you got the money without ruining your life, by all means, have at it. But just again, do so knowing that hey, I can afford it. I got it. It's not a big deal. We good. I'm not here. No one should be breaking the bank over a hobby. Unfortunately, you know, like financial literacy 101. Don't break the bank over a hobby. Now, I am. I'm interested in a few of the games, but like Devin said, there's a couple things. Honestly, I don't even want to think about it until the new Kirby Air Ride game comes out. I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna be the first one for me. I played Kirby, the original Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube till the wheels fell off. I had like 4 games on the GameCube in the good old days, and that was one of them. Easily sunk $1,000 to that game. If it's anything close to what the original was, I'll play that game forever. So, but yeah, people are starting to mess with it now. We'll have some more tech stuff. There's some rumors about some stuff that's not potentially working and a little bit of glitches with the streaming services, but y'all need to remember that this is Nintendo. They've never been good at any of the streaming apps from the original what we till now.
Yep.
That's not the point. Like they haven't got that point. If you bought the Switch 2 thinking, "Oh my god, my YouTube's not working," you bought it for the wrong reasons.
Like if you just need to go back one stage, remember when the Switch happens? You know, people were like, "Oh, hey, YouTube kind of sucks on this." Well, yeah.
Game console from like you gotta pick your battles, man. Would you rather the external apps and everything else like that like not be functional, or would you rather your games just crash without you being able to save it over and over and over again? Like pick a struggle, honestly.
Right.
Yeah. And again, gaming is for gaming. I hate the fact that I have to kind of say this.
Mhm.
Like we're talking about gaming here. You should be looking for the console for its games.
Mhm.
Now, as far as the tech stuff, we kind of know that the Switch 2's overall like strength levels between the high end of the Stream Deck and the low end. I said Steam Deck, and in the high low end of the Steam Deck. So it's like in the middle. So that honestly, on this pure tech, that's good enough. Excuse me. So we'll see as more and more games come out, and and devs really kind of push this thing. We'll see where it really falls, but I mean, so far from what I've been seeing, it's selling like hotcakes. So again, Nintendo seems to know something we don't.
Hmm.
We will see. We will see. All right. And then on the last bit of gaming news, Sony State of Play dropped yesterday, I think as well.
Hmm.
Um Honestly, I think outside of like the random like Marvel fighter, there wasn't much that interested me, but oh well, step back. The Witcher 4, that tech demo looked pretty damn good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I might have to cop that.
yeah, I agree. It was one that looked interesting. I think it was like Romero or Romeo is a dead man. Um,
Yep, that one was the one that caught my eye.
yeah, that one looked pretty cool. Like I liked the artwork of it. I liked how the fighting looked. Um, I will say this, it may not be like true um throughout the gaming industry, but it seems like ever in my brain optically, ever since Sifu came out, a lot of combat looks more fluid in video games to me. Like being able to like just change of direction fighting, being able to fight multiple enemies. You do have people who have a lot of money and mess it up, i.e. Assassin's Creed. Like y'all just can't get right for some reason. I don't get it. It always looks a little clunky and stiff. But yeah, that one looks pretty cool.
Shadows look solid. My wife started playing that literally yesterday. The fight looks solid in that from what I've seen so far, but
Okay.
hey.
Okay. Um there was I think it was like Neo 3.
Hmm.
Looked cool.
Hmm.
Um And I'm trying to remember the last one because there was only three that really caught my eye. Um, yeah, I can't remember it off the top of my head. I can't remember it off the top of my. Oh, it was like an origami game, like
Oh,
Hiragami.
Hiragami. Yeah.
Here, thank you. That looked
Hmm.
pretty interesting. That in my brain looked like it would. It looked like that could have been something that was on the Switch for real, because it just looked like a cozy game. You just sit on the couch in a blanket and kind of just vibe out. But it's on PS5. It's on PS5, and those were pretty much my three. Everything else is kind of like, and obviously the Marvel fighter. Everything else looked like pretty much like paint by the numbers for real, for real. But we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, you never know.
Hmm.
I'm surprised you didn't mention it, Devin, but your boy from My Hero is the guy that draws the Marvel for this Marvel game. He's drawing them.
See, that I didn't realize because it was only like a quick look for me, but I'm like, why does this art look familiar? So that suddenly makes sense.
Yeah, so the guy who wrote My Hero Academia is actually drawing all the designs for this Marvel fighter. And I'm not gonna
I
lie,
can see
that
it.
yeah, and
I
that
can see
Iron
it.
Man, I was like, okay, that looks pretty clean. So I was like, you know what?
Hmm.
We'll see. Might pick it up on the strength. We'll have to see more, but who knows?
And
Pick it up on the strength.
I think that's gonna put a lot of fighting games in a very, very tough spot for the next like 3 years, in my opinion. Like people were talking about what was the Injustice was trying to come back out. I think DC had one that they're trying to push out as well. Um, I think it was DC. But yeah, because that just looks amazing. That looks amazing. The art style, like the fact that it has those like Japanese elements obviously in it because of where it is. It's like, yeah, this might have just messed y'all up for a little bit. You might need to rethink what you're about to put out. But
Hey, say what you want, but for some reason, both Chinese company and a Japanese company, it looks like, or at least a Japanese artist, they know how to make these characters look fresh. Because between Marvel Rivals and whatever this game, I forget what the game's called. It'll click eventually, but between this two, they're just killing people straight on the art, bro.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, as far as gaming news, that's pretty much been it. I haven't there's nothing else on my radar other than the Raido Kuzunoha remake that comes out in like a few weeks. But yeah.
I have one. Sorry, I have
No, go
one.
for it.
Um, fuck EA.
What else to do?
Let's just
Yeah,
get this.
that's
Let's just get that out the way.
EA. It's no longer in the game.
Yeah, it's in the DLC face act.
I was about to say it's in the DLC.
So everybody was last year when College Football 25 came out. They took like a very core part of a game mode out and Road to Glory, where you create your own player, you play through college, and then you can like patch them through into Madden. But one of the core things that everybody liked was you could play your high school games, and then that can like boost interest in other universities, blah blah blah. You kind of that's where you kind of get a feel for the game, see if you pick the right position. Maybe you want to switch it up instead of just boom, you're in the game freshman year, and now you got to start all over. Everybody was like, "Why did y'all take this out?" Blah blah blah. This is like a core part of the mode. This is why we played it. Whoop de whoop. So EA, being EA, they're not deaf to their fans. They're just half deaf. So they were like, they came this year and they're like, instead of us doing the other part of what we asked them to do, don't give us a new game every year. Just update the game annually. That would be cool. They were like, no, but money. So they were like, we have a new game coming out in the summer. Again, this is College Football 2026. Everybody was like, okay, fine. What do you have different? Because you're not finna Madden us to death. And they were like, yes, we are. We're going to Madden you to death.
Absolutely nothing.
We brought back. They said we heard your complaints about the Road to Glory, so we allowed you to play your senior year this year. And everybody was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Can we get more details about it? They're like, sure. So you're not playing your full senior year. You will have moments in 5 games in high school. And then you got to go to college. And everybody was like, you gave us literally half, not even half. You gave us a quarter of what we asked for. And now you're trying to charge us, again, I think this is going to be like 85 bucks or something like that. I have to double check because the standard edition is ridiculous. And then if you want to get the deluxe edition of both of Madden and NCAA, it's going to cost like around $150, which again is like the balls on y'all is ridiculous. I need you to understand.
Y'all give us absolutely nothing. You're gonna charge me $75 per game.
Like, okay, cool. So fuck EA for that. I will not be getting it. Period. Like, I'm not getting it. I'm enjoying 25 as is. But yeah, they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn, and I feel like they're gonna learn way too late. Like once people start like overtly just stealing their game or boycotting their company, and they're in the same position that Target's in, to where Target is like falling out the sky, and they're like, I don't know what to do. Maybe well, it's Pride Month. Let's give them some gay shirts. Maybe black gay shirts. We cover 2 demographics. It's like it's not gonna work, bro. It's not gonna work. But yeah, I think that's where EA is gonna end up being.
Honestly, it's probably where the game industry is gonna wind up being. Like, even Nintendo, y'all pushing it. Like, I'd be okay if certain like depending on the game, if the prices fluctuated a little bit, I might give y'all a pass. Like, this is not a complete comparison. Don't take this dollar for dollar, but like, you know, when Elden Ring, Night Rain just came out, right? And that was what, 60, 70? I don't remember the price tag on it right now, but like, if that game said, "Hey, you know, we're this cool addition to Elden Ring, hottest game of 2023 or whatever it was. This is the new edition. This game's gonna be $8, but we have like over 1,000 hours of gameplay." Understandable. You know what? I'll give you that one. But you're telling me you want me to play this game that barely got 30 hours of gameplay in it, and you try to drop, you know, try to get $70+ out of me.
Correction, Jazo. The standard for Night Rain is $40.
See?
The
there it
deluxe
is.
is 50, like 55 maximum. What I'm seeing, but even that is like, what's going on? Be like Elden Ring. Just do what they're doing.
Yeah.
But
Metaphor Refantasio, I think, came out at what, $49 or $59.99? If I
Uh,
think it was 59.
59. Because I think it was
That
60 and
game,
change with tax and stuff.
yeah, and that game took me over 100 hours to beat. I'll take that. That was worth the
Hmm.
cash, and it was fantastic. If you like, the prices in and of themselves are not the issue; it's the value for said price. And once these
Right.
companies learn that, they'll either add more value to their games or bring their prices down because no one's going to be buying these shit.
I mean, we
So,
learn. Oh, go ahead, Dave. Go
oh, I had a quick question for you, Kyle. So let's say EA decided that, hey, we want to add back in all the things that you've been asking for.
ahead.
You know, we give you like the full high school mode, you know, not just like a couple games or anything, but all the way through. You can play all the way through college, you can, and then get into the NFL. But they locked it behind you getting like a higher edition of the game, you know, like the deluxe edition, so on and so forth. You couldn't access it if you only get the standard edition. Would you purchase it, and
Yeah,
why or why not?
I would. Because again, if you're giving me what I ask for, I don't have a problem paying for it. You see what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make sense for me to have the stance that I have and then also be like, well, if you do give it to me, I'm not gonna pay for it. That's how you build like you create incentive within the gaming industry. You reward people for giving you exactly what you ask for. Like, and that's why I was gonna say with what Jesus said, kind of like that'll be the turn of the gaming industry unless they figure something out. And it's like there have been games every few years that have come along that have shown the gaming industry if we give the fans what they want, they will pay for it, run with it, keep it in circulation. People will mod it, people will add like a whole second life to it. You
Mm.
ignoring that is you just being a dickhead. Like that's all it is at that point. Because you got when when Bethesda got everybody hyped for Starfield, and then everybody bought it off of the like trailer and everything else like that. And then we got the game and was like, this is not what you advertised to us. And then the player count dropped immediately. And then when people were able to mod it and everything else like that, that's when it went back. Like the player
Mm.
count jumped right back up. Um, Obviously, we know Baldur's Gate, like that broke the industry. They didn't know what they were looking at. So much so, people in companies, some people were on their burner account, some people were on their actual account, trying to throw mud on the game, like trying to shit on the game in front of us. Like,
Mm.
you can't do that. Final point where it's like everything that we've seen up to date for GTA 6 is like people are like about the price, but a lot of people are going to buy that game because it's what a decade and a half, I think, because it's 2026 when it will come out. Yeah, I think it's like a decade and a half that people have waited for it. And even within
Mm.
GTA 5, people gave that a new half life with the GTA role playing online. People took that, took the bones of it, got everybody's playing on PC. People are creating gangs and servers and dealing drugs in the game and all types of stuff. Like you have rappers who were rapping for a little bit, making money. The pandemic hit, they started PC gaming and got like a second leg of their career from literally just playing GTA Online. You have examples to where if you just let us do what we want to do or give us what we're asking for, people have no problem paying into that product. But
Yeah,
hey man,
keep in mind, GTA 5 initially came out in 2013.
2013.
So probably if you
Oof.
give it 2 to 3 years after the release for them wondering where's the next one coming out, it's been over a decade
Yeah,
since the GTA 5 came out.
that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, no, I think we got a little warmed up here. We're getting back into our flow. So let's move to our three body breakdown. We got a double hitter for this one here. So let's start off with the more talkative conversation because the other one's probably gonna piss us off a little bit. So let's ease into that, y'all. Last week was the Crunchyroll Award show. Jesus. Um, what y'all think? Let's just rip the band-aid off a little bit. We all know that Solo Leveling won Anime of the Year. Not just Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling Season 1. Very specific. Season 1 won Anime of the Year. What y'all think?
Look, I feel like, don't get me wrong, solo leveling is fine. It's good stuff, but I think it won just purely off of the hype. That's it. That's what everyone's talking about, and therefore that's why it won. Not necessarily because it is the best anime, or anything of that nature. It's just people are talking about it, therefore you might as well just put the name there. Call it a day.
Devin's kind. I'm gonna pull one from Kible's book this time. I'm gonna say it. Y'all niggas basic.
Look, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to say, okay, you know what? If you like solo leveling, you know what? Fine, sure, whatever. Like what you want, but come on.
Now, mind you, I hate the term, but all it is aura forming. That's really all it is. Now, mind you, I've read Solo Leveling 3 times before this anime came out. I knew what Solo Leveling was before an anime was even thought of. So let's y'all can take that stupidity and just throw that in another bucket. But like it's cool, it's flashy, but to me it's just another stereotypical shonen where the main character is the super got strong guy. And I get it. It has its qualities. It's got its good stuff. And again, it looks great. Don't get me wrong. It's a very good anime. Like I give that anime like a solid 8.5 if I include both season 1 and season 2. That's another thing. Excuse me. Season 1 is not nearly as good as season 2 is. Season 2 is where all the flash is. It's where all the memes have been coming from. Just label that there. The ore farming, all that nonsense. Whatever terms y'all want to use. That's all pretty much coming from season 2.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, the best anime of this season has been Feiren. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has the most emotional depth. The fights are still amazingly good. There's actual charm. There's a story. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do I gotta keep going? Do you have great characters? Purpose? Like, must I keep going on? That's been the best anime this season for me.
Yep. Honestly, I'd give it to Freerun.
And I've seen that be like the common consensus online as well. Um, I haven't seen Free Run, so I have to wait because I'm trying to watch that with my brothers, and we're all like on different schedules or whatnot.
Netflix party, man.
Yeah, like we got to figure that out. But from what I've seen, like with the extended clips and things like that, that I've seen of like shorts randomly in my out on my YouTube algorithm or like on Twitter, I'll see it, or like some of these discussion boards and things like that. Like, yeah, I can see why. I can see why Freedom was kind of looked over because of what you said, Jay. So like the whole aura farming thing, um, the memes, and I'm not really big on award shows, period, because throughout my life I've seen consistently more times than not people get it wrong. Period. People
Mm-hmm.
mess up important moments in time trying to be cool, trying to get like, I don't know, trying to get viewers or like grow this thing off of controversy, whatever the case may be. And they pick the thing that they know will cause most conversation and not necessarily the choosing the right choice out of the available options that they have. So I'm kind of like, when it comes to award shows, I'm kind of good on it. Even in sports, like I don't even, as big as a college football fan as I am, I don't watch the Heisman ceremony. I don't. I have eyes. I've watched the games all season like everybody else. Period. Point blank. Um, they're not as sports aren't typically as bad as music though, because music will they will consistently mess something so easy up that you'll be like, oh, they can't mess this up. Everybody knows. You know, we all had ears this year. We all da 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 da, and they'll just pick something. Just just pick it. Um, so yeah, once I watch it, I feel like I'll probably have a better view on it. But the fact that Solo Leveling one doesn't surprise me. I'll be honest.
Yeah, so I just finished watching it all the way through, like literally this morning. I had seen the latter half with my wife as she was watching it, like almost like a month ago. So then I caught pretty much the last half of the show. Um, After rewatching it all the way through on my own, I gotta say this: that show's emotional depth. It's it's top tier, bro. It's like it's like the story of like a D and D session where the main character is like backtracking her own life and discovering new meaning by doing the backtrack. Like the emotional depth of that show is just too good to the point where I'm just like, this is a constant conversation I'd be having with people these days about anime, which is why I don't watch as much anime as I used to. Everything now is just a shonen hyper farm. Like I get it. It's flashy. It's cool. It stimulates that like yeah moment in us a little bit. But like that's not all stories are. That's not all anime is and has been for most of my life. So I'm not gonna get down for the new shiny thing you throw out on our TV. Like it's never gonna be me. I'm not gonna say the show is bad because I don't think it is. I just don't think it was better. Like So Lovely was not better than Feiren to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could raise someone's child on Feiren and be like, "This is how you grow up as an adult," rather than just here shiny punch punch kick kick. Like
I mean, that's how I feel about what was it called? Vinland Saga. Um,
oh yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
emotional. Oh my
yeah,
god.
the emotional depth, and that's I would raise my kids off of that because it's like there is you have to develop strength and everything, yes, but there's also a war that goes on inside of you, and as soon as you start to lose the war within yourself, you start to wage war on the outside world, and it just being able to grow and to understand, like you know, I don't know, you never know how much violence someone has to go through to find peace in themselves. Um, they could have done the last animated season better, like a little bit better, um,
Yeah.
because it was some parts to where it was. A lot of people said dragging. I don't know if dragging is the right word, um, but it seemed like they were just belaboring the point at certain points in time, without. I don't know. I don't know. And a lot of people's critique is like there was like what you said, Jay. So like it's not flashy enough. There's not a lot of fighting that happens. Not a lot. It's not as gruesome as the earlier episodes were. I get that, but like that emotional journey, that young man, because mind you, he was a kid in war, a literal child in war, and he's like probably late teens at the end of the animated part, and it's like this man is struggling with PTSD, layers of PTSD that like you would technically in this day and age, because you can't enlist until you're 18, he would just be starting to get PTSD at this point, but he's on the other side of it, and his life is just beginning. It's like this is amazing. But a lot of people didn't like it though. That I talked to, they're like, "No, that shit's boring." It's like, oh, but hey, again,
Yeah,
everything.
me and Devin have talked about this. I want to say a couple years ago now, but like the purpose just keeps coming back around. Everyone is starting to take anime as more of a genre than a style, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. They think the genre is flashy fights, cool explosions, and aura forming, rather than like, hey, this is just a style of entertainment. Just like you have hip hop, you got rock, you got country, you got you know funk, whatever. Like it is just a style, excuse me, of animation, and it's just I think that's starting to get lost at a point. And because more and more people keep gravitating to the Flash, the industry just keeps spitting out more and more of this. Heck,
Mm-hmm.
the animators are starting to struggle keeping up deadlines. If anyone who watched JJK's last season knows,
Ooh.
excuse me, that is just getting the animators are getting burnt out. Where they're starting to push some shows back. Like Demon Slayer's movie is just coming out for the Infinity Castle. They're just coming out within the next month or two, I think. And then and these are just for a series of movies. I don't think the next one is slated to go until like a year after. Because like, yeah, if you're gonna put out something quality, that takes time. Like, and when we were growing up, they're probably doing triple or quadruple the amount of anime drops they were doing from when we were growing up. We probably had like they probably had like 10 animes a season, across all of the no, develop animators. Now each animator's probably got 10 dropping every season just themselves. So
Hmm.
I hope they figure it out. And I hope y'all people out there start widening your range of anime. I get it. Flashy is cool. Power struggles are cool. The what ifs of can Rimuru beat, such and such person. These things are great, but like, sit down, watch a rom com, watch a slice of life. There are a lot of good ones out there. Heck, honestly, this might be a little bit of a hot take, but I think Sakamoto Days was better than Soul Leveling. And that one was funny as hell.
I mean, you hit a really good point there that there's more than just, the Flash with Shonen and so on and so forth. Uh, I've spent years trying to go and tell people, like, whenever they're like, oh, hey, I watched this one sitcom or I watched this one particular serious show and everything that's a live action show. And they're like, oh, hey, well, why do you watch anime? Isn't that just for kids? It's like, well, no, it depends on what genre you're looking at and what you're looking at from a story standpoint. You can get the same level of serious topics from anime if you're looking in the right place. But if you're only looking at, shonen and just the flash and action and so on and so forth, well, yeah, it's going to compare it to any other action movie or TV show. And if that's all you're watching, eventually it gets old.
Facts. Big facts.
Hmm.
Oh, we lost Cal a little bit here. It's all right. He'll be back. But on that note, any other thoughts on some of the anime awards? I know we were super interested in the award show as in a general thing, but was there anything else on the list you wanted to break down and discuss? Any thoughts?
Uh, no, not really. Like, even just looking at the nominees for Anime of the Year, Dun Dun, again, the opening song for it was fire, not gonna lie. But I would not have put it over Feiren. Kaiju number 8, good stuff. But again, also not something that I would have put over Feiren. Delicious in Dungeon, I've heard good things about it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, though.
Oh, you would love it. That when I was talking about a D&D just basically as an anime, that is Delicious in Dungeon. It is just a
Mm,
D&D party going through a dungeon, and every other episode, pretty much every episode, they're focusing on what they're eating
mm,
while there's an actual plot. Like at first, when I heard the anime too, I'm like, this sounds kind of silly. Like it might be like a slice of life taking in the form of a D&D. But then as you watch each episode, it's another one my wife actually got me to watch. As you watch each episode, there's a legitimate plot, and it just so happens there's always a part where they're framing around what they're going to eat, but it's actually a legitimate story. So like, it's a fun time. I admit that is a very good one.
okay.
All right. Well, if there isn't any other thing about anime, there is one thing I wanted to ask y'all. Caleb kind of touched on it already. Before we get to our main topic, there was a question I was going to say for the end, but it's appropriate here. So, are award shows even worth it? Like straight up. Let's start with you, Devin.
Personally, I don't think so in their current form. Like, if they're doing it in the sense of, hey, let's celebrate all of the different anime that have come out and do it as like a, hey, if you didn't know about this series, then here it is. You know, a lot of people have voted for it for this, and this, but nothing's necessarily winning anything, or you're not saying, oh, hey, this was the best in this. Then I think it would be fine. But that's not the case. They're basically just going and saying, hey, we're going to pick something based off of an opinion that's not necessarily going to be correct, just like Hal Witten said earlier. So I think at that point, it's kind of a waste of time.
Fair. Now, keep in mind, I'm talking about any award show, period. Not just this
Uh,
Crunchyroll award show, but any award show. So the Video Game Awards, Crunchyroll, the Grammys, Oscars. Are these things even worth it?
yeah, even expanding that out from there, I still don't feel like it's particularly worth it. I think that doing a celebration of any of those things that came out, any music that came out, any movies, so on and so forth, to make sure that the people who put out good work, get recognized, sure, yeah. But other than that, what's the point?
I agree. I I do think I agree with you that like in its current form right now, um, it's not working correctly. I'm with you as well when it comes down to like celebrating the creatives annually, blah blah blah, because especially when it comes to like yeah, just any type of entertainment. Like you have people who are like first coming in, people who are in their prime, and then people who are aging out or just officially retiring. And I do think every year it should be like a graduation of sorts. Like, oh yeah, you were like stellar artist, or like here's a lifetime achievement award. Thank you for your contributions. Here's some stuff that probably didn't get the coverage that it needed to get, like putting people on, like more so like an education and a celebration, because
Hmm.
across the board for the better part of 50 years now, there have been too many serious mistakes, period. Like certain people getting awards because of a bunch of bullshit behind the scenes. Honestly, like you have people who are like paying for awards at this point, like reaching out specifically to people who are going to be eligible to vote on whatever category, establishing a friendship, a favor for a favor type thing, blah blah blah. And then you have like, why does why does Taylor Swift have more album of the years than Beyonce? Stuff like that. Like, how much fucking sense does that make? That makes no type of sense. Like, this woman has
Hmm.
been out since the 90s. So she's been a performer for 40 years almost. And it's like, okay, cool. Like they damn near had to twist people's arm for her to get the last one. And it was like, this is dumb. This is very, very dumb. Um, but then you have on the other side to where it's like um, things or people or properties that just clean up at the award shows, rightfully so. Like Kendrick or like Baldur's Gate or um, in that era, I think it was like Jay Z, Kanye. Yeah, it was like Jay Z, Kanye, Drake, if I remember correctly, who were like, if they were in your category with you, more times than not, they're going to beat your ass. Period. Because that's the type of just run they were on. Um, but people drop the ball too many times when it comes to actually having critical thought and having to choose a winner in a tight race. Um, I
What's
don't know.
crazy is I don't remember if it was the Grammys or the Oscars. Y'all will have to double check me on this one eventually, but one of the awards shows literally made a statement going into this coming year that the whatever is nominated for you to vote, you need to have seen all of the things that are being nominated, and that caused this whole internet thing for a bit. Where it's like, wait, so all the things that were nominated, some of y'all weren't even watching them.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Wild.
yeah. And it probably was the Oscars, honestly, because you have a bunch of people who are like, you have the actual cinephiles who actually watch everything just out of passion on their own, who are like looking for the who's the new artist, what's the new what is the new style that people are shooting in. You have people in like the Grammys who are like really big on instrumentation and creative vocals and things like that. But then you have the people who are um like the movie watchers who are like super into like Michael Bay movies, like explosions, titties, and guns, and that's what I care about. And that's gonna win. Or like the people
America.
exactly, or like the people who aren't real music fans. They're like top 25 listeners, top 50 listeners. So they only listen to what's like in circulation on the radio, like stuff like that, and they're voting on like seriously important things like album of the year, song of the year, blah blah blah, songwriter of the year. And if you're like voting for what was the white boy that they were trying to push on us? And I'm so glad he disappeared. Jack Harlow. Like if you're somebody who like heard Jack Harlow and you're like, this is the greatest song I've ever heard in my life, take his credentials away. You shouldn't be voting. We got to get you up out of here because you're messing up the integrity of this shit for real, for real.
To be fair, Jack Harlow's got a couple of bops. I'm not gonna front. He's got a couple of them,
Okay.
but yeah, nah. It's like when Macklemore won. What was it? The Oscar over Kendrick for Good Kid, Mad City.
No,
No,
it was
that was
it was the Grammy. It was the album of the
it was
year.
Yeah, no, that was clear. Good Kid, Mad City was clearly by leagues the best album that year.
I'm still mad. That's why I was happy what happened last time when he won like I think like what like five or six in one night, and he's just standing there like because he's a little guy, so he's standing there like this just with all the Grammys. I'm like, thank you, you deserve all of this because they robbed that man in front of us. Even Macklemore, he apologized to the man. He was like, I'm so sorry. I'm
It
so
wasn't
sorry.
that that man knew it wasn't him.
Nah. And Macklemore's cool people too. Shout out to him.
It was funny because I think Adele did something similar because I think she won
Over
album of the
Beyonce.
year over Beyonce
Yeah.
one year.
It's
And
just
even Adele was like, Adele was like, nah, bro, don't look at me. Like you should, to
I
the
don't
point
agree
where
with this.
to the point like I remember seeing that clip because I don't watch award shows either, but like I remember seeing the clip when it made the rounds and it was just like when Beyonce, you just see Beyonce like oh, looking like the SpongeBob meme out here when she went for Cowboy Carter. I was just like,
Yeah, because that's how used to getting robbed she is. She's been putting out some of, as far as like performer goes, she's like top five to walk this earth for real, for real. Like,
she's the most winningest Grammy Oscar person in the music genre for the last 30 years, and somehow this is her first album of the year. Not Lemonade, not her self-titled album.
nothing.
Sorry, Lemonade should have swept that up that year. That album is a bop, bro.
Yeah, but you know, alas.
Yeah, for me, it's like even if you want to call something the best or whatever, for me at the end of the day, I want the award shows, like Devin said, to be the celebration of whatever the topic is. This is why I fundamentally don't watch the video game awards because for the most part, especially the way they've been doing it the last couple of years, it's not a celebration of the gaming of the year. It's just the clout chasing of whatever, which is why they're all super predictable. We knew Elden Ring was gonna win. We knew actually no Elden Ring won. The only one that's been surprising for like the last couple of years was what was it? Astro's Playroom. What
Yeah.
game of the year that year?
Sure.
Last year? And I still haven't played it, but from what I've seen, it's a fantastic game. So I'm about to double back on that one when I get some time. But like, you could basically aura form the freaking game of the year because we know it's gonna be something basic. We know if they drop God of War, whatever next year,
It's
all right, it's one of the game. It's pretty much gonna win game of the year with the exception of.
It's gonna go against GTA. It's gonna go against GTA. That's the luck to you, Bucko.
But aura forming. You know what? This is why, like, as much as I joked about the game of the year, and I know we talked about it when it was coming up a few episodes, several episodes back. But like, I would have almost taken Balatro. You know what? I want the freaking solitaire card simulator fighter to beat everybody just cause. Because we keep talking about wanting to celebrate gaming, but like. Gaming is so vast and y'all are so unclear. Like, no offense, but Game of the Year should not have continuations. I don't want a DLC being considered for Game of the Year. Now, it can be DLC in a year to force them to actually make good DLC content so that I can be celebrated properly. But, like, pretty much anytime you put the shiny, super cool looking, all right, what's the hard Game of the Year looking like? That's probably going to be the freaking or farmed game of the year. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure Night Raid's probably gonna win it this damn year. I don't know yet. Ooh. Excuse me, fellas.
Deliverance come out this year? Deliverance 2?
Oh yeah, that game came out this year.
Yeah, it's been a few good games this year. That might make it tough, honestly.
Yep. So all in all, everybody, if you have any influence in your award shows, please use it and let's get some quality back up in here, people. All right, shifting gears. So our second part, and for this episode, I'm going to label it "Clout is trash" because fundamentally, Clout is trash. So we got to talk about it. It was this last weekend. I was on vacation doing something else, but we got to talk about the drama at DreamCon. You know what, Cal? You take it away. You kind of start this first part of the topic here, because I need to mentally prepare myself for the bullshit we're about to talk about.
being being a black nerd all my life in a many of different
All my life I had to fight.
in a ways, uh, and also being in fraternity myself. Um, I see this from multiple angles. It's very weird how when people who have created like a space for themselves and other people who also share their common beliefs and everything can get together away from the prying eyes of the world. As soon as they create their space, they do exactly what the world did to them in the world space to people who come in who may not aesthetically immediately fit. Um, it's very interesting, but it's disappointing because of how well intentioned these people feel like they are when they do it. It's very weird. So, to be brief, there were two situations that came to mind with this DreamCon. You have the Qs, the brothers in there strolling, just happy. That's what they do. If you don't know, like that's part of Divine Nine culture, like the black fraternities and sororities. If they're together anywhere, if they meet each other there, if something goes on, they're gonna do their call, their response, they're gonna do their dance or whatever, and that's just a camaraderie thing. Like, man, look at us, we're here, like da 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 da. And the person recording it is like, man, y'all doing this shit, blah blah blah, like just being very nasty in their critique towards just a bunch of black people at the end of the day sharing a common interest in an area where you're supposed to share common interest with other black people and just being just malicious again. uh okay, because I don't want to have to do this.
Do it.
Racism is a multi-layered. Racism initially will start with white people essentially trying to keep us out of places, trying to demonize not only our existence, but anything that we put out into the world, while actively trying to co opt our existence and everything that we put out into the world. Someone great said, they love our rhythm, they hate our blues, right? That's what racism is on one layer. Then the second layer is white people essentially doing so much intellectual reprogramming on the essentially the race or the demographic of people that they're doing it on, that they start to make the victimized demographic hate themselves, thus hate their own demographic, and then will thus perpetrate the same type of racism that was put onto them onto people around them and on people that they're in community with. So now racism has been downloaded and the file is now just running in autopilot in the background. Unless the person checks it and is able to be like, I am viewing this woman that I've been told is attractive who looks just like me is not conventionally attractive because conventional attraction to me is whatever is white and or adjacent to whiteness. Like they cannot be attractive in and of their own right. Said all that to say that's what that looks like, where black people are policing other blackness. It's weird, but it's very subtle. It can sometimes take years to develop in your subconscious, but when it happens, and you don't even know that you're doing it. Um, that was just disappointing because you want the community to grow. You want as many different people from as many different walks of life to come together because there's strength in numbers and the community is just strong, period. The second thing that I will gladly critique was the niggas in there fighting. So it had something to do with DDG, to where like it was like DDG's brother or his cousin or somebody was in there, and then the other person called DDG doo doo garbage, which is hilarious. That's freaking hilarious to me. Very creative, very clever. Shout out to you, chip off the block like me. That was a good hip shot, just doo doo garbage. Simple, effective, and I know that it hurt because you ever been hit with a childish insult and it bothers your inner child? So you as an adult want to respond, but you're like, let me chill. That shit childish. I shouldn't respond to it. But they keep on doo doo garbage, doo doo garbage. It's gonna make you react. And he react. They're in there fighting, and of course, instead of people just breaking it up, like separating them, like you need to leave. You threw the first punch. People are recording it. They eventually break the fight up. Thus, this next day, There was more security there. The security was much more not intolerant, but much more stricter with what people could bring into the event because they didn't want it possible to be another fight. And weapons were involved, so some of the people's part of their costumes or their cosplay couldn't come in. And it's just like, just stop, please. Just stop. You aren't being like a black person who's thinking about the community. You're being a bitch ass nigga, messing something up because that's the last thing you want. You see what I'm saying? You fighting at these locations that these brothers spent their time, money, and effort on putting together. That's why battle rap is essentially dead now because you have people show up to events fighting. There have been people stabbed at battle rap events. People have gotten shot at battle rap events. Women have gotten groped at battle rap events. And there have been less and less venues as the years have gone on because of that bullshit. So when you can't put on these big, like, you can't put on these big venues, occupy it, build the culture, put it online and see like 2,500 people in there having a good time, people aren't going to show up. Thus, it's more expensive for the league owners to book the venues because the venue owners see y'all niggas be fighting. So we're going to raise the premium or we're just not going to let you. Y'all aren't thinking about what this does to the community. Period. It's selfish. It's weird. It's disgusting. And if you're that triggered by somebody calling your relative doo-doo garbage, take your bitch ass and sit on somebody's couch and figure that shit out.
Go
Like,
touch some grass.
thank you. Go touch some grass. I'm scrolling down my Twitter on DreamCon. I see beautiful big titty, big booty black women cosplaying, looking sexy, titties jumping out the Lady Tsunade cosplay. How dare you? How dare you? Samus ain't got titties like that. Why your titties poking like that in metal armor? What's going on? This is beautiful. Go talk to some women, bro. Fucking weirdos. That's me, though.
I don't want DDD talking to none of our women. I'm just saying.
No. Not DDD. No. Doodoo garbage, you're weird. I'm talking about the regular brothers. Why are you fighting with these beautiful women around? There's food around. There's other creators. You can go talk to them about getting your stuff off the ground. You can. There's so much more to do. But y'all want to fight. But that's me. I think it was beautiful. Shout out to them for another great DreamCon again. I am trying to go next year. It may be tough because of just traveling and all this stuff, but I really, really, really want to go.
Well, we got 1 year. We can try to figure it out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's all. My bad, Chaser. I got
No.
the more I kept talking, the
That's
more
why-
mad I got.
This is why I needed you to go first, because I would have been you. I saw Devin. That man was starting to hit the freaking. I got a headache just listening to you explain it.
Man.
Take it away, Devin.
So, first off, I am so glad that we are of the same minds because that was literally what I was writing down while I was at work today. Like, you can ask John and everything. I was literally like, look, I got some stuff to go and talk about this. I feel a type of way about
your
this.
shit, Devin.
Because, as you both know, I go to multiple different cons and everything. I used to perform at cons as well. Particularly in our area and everything, but also farther out. So, with that, I've noticed that we tend not to have very many places where the black community can kind of come together, as nerds and kind of experience things without other people kind of judging us. Like, oh, hey, you can't wear that particular cosplay because, you're not the right skin tone or so on. No.
Hinata isn't black. Hinata
Yeah.
isn't. I hate that, but I love that beat though. I hate why we.
I was only going to say, you know what? Okay, I can kind of get with that beat there. But
I
anyway.
hate why we have the beat, but I love the fact that we've twisted it because that's what we do. You want to hit us with some shit? We're gonna twist it and make it fly.
But one thing I decided to go and look at, and it is right on the website for DreamCon. It says that DreamCon unites enthusiasts globally to celebrate gaming, anime, sports, film, music, and pop culture while fostering inclusivity and a sense of belonging. Which means that if someone is going to be, one, enthusiastic about something and also kind of, do something that you wouldn't necessarily count with the thing that you normally like, you're supposed to be welcoming to it and kind of say like, oh, hey, well, let me learn about that. Not try to gatekeep like you might go and see at other cons. That is the whole purpose of it, for people to come together.
The fact that the
So,
guys that created it literally had to make a joke show called Gatekeep, which they did at DreamCon this year also for episode 3. They had to make a joke show called Gatekeep, and y'all still don't get it.
yeah, like, come on. It is the whole purpose, and you can't seem to go and get it. How? Tell me how you missed this memo here. Tell me how you decided to go to this con of all cons and then go and say, oh, hey, let's go ahead and gatekeep. Wait a minute.
So, my first reaction was a bit conservative. At first, I had like a half a second of conservatism because, like you said, we've been going to cons for years. So, like, normally when you go to a con, if you're trying to do something new, you have to like, ease it into the kind of culture of the convention, right? It's just the way a convention works. Heck, one of the conventions we go to in Orlando, they weren't big on panels. It was almost like a giant deals room, but as more and more people were interested in like voice actor talks and stuff like that, it grew into that. When they started incorporating that more. So I had like half a thought of that initially, but then I realized something. We black. I'm sorry, we black. Except that's what we're trying to do here. So my only thing, and again, this is very minor. I don't fundamentally believe they shouldn't have been able to do that. You have all rights to, especially since at conventions, y'all be having like huge dance parties in the middle of one of the floors in general to begin with.
On a regular.
Yeah. Now, just because of our community, and I'm black, so I get to say this, maybe you should have been like, set up the seed a little bit. Just a little bit. Just be like, hey, we about to do this. And then do it. Like, and of course, we didn't see the beginning of the video.
And they were,
so they could have easily done that.
yeah, they were over to the side. It would be different if they were doing it like how I'm used to seeing Qs do it, like in parties. They will literally stroll through the dance floor, and you better not break that line. You're getting your ass beat. They're over to the side to where it looks like it's no tables or nothing set up over here.
Yeah, like they weren't interrupting anything.
Yeah, it's like,
Right.
this was the nicest possible way they could have done it. Like,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah, like I
And I
said,
think that's the reason why I was fine with it.
yeah, and that's my thing. That was like my half conservative thought, but again, it's only because I've been a con going person for like, I don't know, 13 years at this point. Like I've been going to cons for a long ass time, so it's like stuff like that. Usually between not knowing the venue space or whatever, you got to be careful with just throwing shit out of nowhere, and a lot of the convention organizers will warn people of this kind of stuff. But clearly, as they were off to the side, there was no big issue. And excuse me. And because we black, even if you don't know about strolling or, whatever, this is one of your times to be like, oh, what's this? Oh, you do this at HBCUs? Or at least as part of Divine Nine? Interesting. And that is what it is. So, like, uh-oh. Devin! Oh, we lost his camera for a little bit. He'll figure it out and hop back in. No biggie. Oh. He actually might have lost his internet. Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to check in with him real quick. But at the end of the day, it's just a matter of we have to accept each other, all warts and all. Even if you're a little more conservative as a black person or churchy or whatever, and you're not necessarily into that kind of thing, you have to make space for those of us that are into that kind of thing. Just like us black nerds have been trying to get our own space for a little bit, which is why DreamCon exists. So, at the end of the day, it's just a matter of creating space for everybody. Oh, hey Devin, when did you learn how to Kagebushin on us, bro?
Always been a trick I can do. Just didn't know. Don't tell anybody though.
See? Got me doing a little more editing this episode. This man decided, dude, like, I'm such a nerd, I'm gonna pull a Naruto. Boom, another one.
Clones.
Ah, hilarious, Devin. Only you would find a way.
Yep. But yeah, I think my internet just kind of weirded out there for a
Spazzed out.
moment, so I had to reconnect, and I guess that's why it's showing me double.
You know, it's all good. I'll fix it. But at the end of the day,
Oh, I do want to add
no,
one thing though.
no,
When it
feel
comes
free.
to the fighting that happens, that's where I kind of see the other side of it. Because one thing my parents always said, when I was younger and kind of growing up, is be careful how, what you say and how you act, when you're out and about. Because someone is always watching and always judging. But they're going to be judging you. They're going to be judging, your family and your upbringing, and they're going to be judging your entire race, right? Because you are also representative of, you know, who you are a part of as a culture. So
Unfortunately.
the way I kind of see, some of that news getting out is that there are going to be a lot of other people who are going to see that and then just go and say, oh, hey, see, black people have their own thing and they can't go around without fighting even then. Clearly, that is something that they always do. They're going to just go with that stereotype and it's just going to spread. And I hate that that's going to be a thing. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Because, Logan Paul could do something stupid in another country and he's not indicative of all white people for whatever stupid reason.
Right. But if one black person does something, then congratulations, representative of everyone. They're going to hold it against every black person. Mm.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. And again, it's such a multifaceted issue at the end of the day because it's like if we can't accept ourselves, how do we expect everyone else to accept us? Like it's
Mm.
that thing. It's like if you can't have faith in yourself, you can't have faith in others. So it's like it's that nonsense. All right. I'm gonna shift gears here on DreamCon just a little bit because we could go on this BS forever, and we ain't about that to this episode. We're trying to be a little more lighthearted. So, in good news from DreamCon, Meg the Stallion is making her own anime. What y'all think?
I'm down for it.
Hey, to all you weirdos out there that keep saying, "Hey, y'all don't, there aren't no black people in anime or blah blah blah." All right, we'll do it ourselves. Here we are again. We'll do it we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, I think it's great. I'm excited for her because I feel like again, I have loved that woman for years. She is gorgeous to me. Um, so anything that she be doing, I'm typically like on board for it. And like you said, Jigsaw, like they love to, and it's specifically white people. I typically don't even see like Japanese people say that type of stuff, but it's typically white people thinking that they have a monetization on whiteness, so they will see a white character in a Japanese in a Japanese cartoon and immediately assume that the character is white. It's like, no, in every anime, the white American, that motherfucker's gonna have blonde hair, blue eyes, he's gonna have some type of America paraphernalia on, like
Mm.
something like that. They're going to let you know when y'all are there. Period.
And he's gonna have a gun
He's gonna
every
always
time.
have a gun for some reason. The anime, nobody else in the anime will have a gun, but the goddamn American white boy will, which should
Yeah.
tell you that's how they see you. However, I'm glad because I think this is great. I know of like a few black animators who are doing anime themselves. I am an aspiring one. We shall see where I'm gonna be in a couple of years. Hopefully, this works out. Um, even oh yeah, Afro just dropped his anime as well. Um,
Yep.
so just seeing black people be able to like do something and depict us how we want to be depicted instead of some weird like popo type stuff or whatever the case may be. And it's done by a celebrity, so inherently eyes are automatically going to be on it. I think that's amazing. Um,
Mm.
and I'm just proud, man. I think this is dope. I think it's very dope. I can't wait.
Oh man, that reminds me. When we have time, I gotta show you that. I don't know if y'all ever got a chance to see it, but that like it was like last year where it was like a for the anniversary of Aaliyah, the singer, for like one of her shoots. Some company turned like a scene from one of it was like a futuristic visualizer. They took that scene and animated her into it. Like
Mhm.
it's super dope. I gotta show y'all that one day. But yeah, man, like don't get mad when we do it ourselves after you tell us to do it ourselves. Don't get mad when we decide to do our own thing. And when we do our own thing, we ourselves have to embrace ourselves.
Mhm.
You may not necessarily always like something someone does, but we have to embrace it. Which is why I'm watching Ironheart. Weekend drops. I don't give a crap. If it's good, I'll let you know. If it sucks, I will still let you know. But I'm watching it, hands down. When the Sinners Blu-ray drops, I'm buying it day one,
Collector's
hands down.
collector's edition. I told my girl get like $125 and just put it to the side for them. I want the box. I want the map. I want the picture book. All of that. We're getting that.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, if they won't do it, we gotta be like Thanos and we'll do it ourselves. Like,
Mhm.
don't play with us black people. We'll find a way.
Mhm.
We've been doing it for hundreds of years, and we'll just keeping on doing it.
Right.
All right. So, any final thoughts on the DreamCon stuff, Phyllis? Because looks like we're gonna have a pretty short one here.
Not really though. Hey, I do want to eventually go to DreamCon, and any ladies who are there, sit me up. I saw some of those
We gotta find.
cosplays. Looking good.
We gotta find Devin a girl, man. Hey, and remember they do DreamCon in Texas. Just warning you to now. You gotta be prepared to be hot because it's hot over there.
I just said
Look,
because they did this one because I saw they played the. This is my last word. I saw the. They had the Mark versus Duke Dennis basketball game at the University of Houston's basketball arena. Um, and when I heard that they were having, I was like, "Oh, that's going to be pretty cool." I didn't expect them to fill the arena up damn near, which is insane. That is a D1 college basketball arena, and they were in there,
That's what on average those seats are like what 10, 20,000.
yeah, around there. Yep, and they were in there. So I'm like, I love that. That's really amazing. I love that for them. Just seeing them go from a bunch of guys who kind of grew up together, them just chasing their dreams, living in the house, and now they're able to put this on annually.
mhm.
It's great, man. I love
I agree, man, and it's the author Tony Weaver Jr. He said it best, which is why I'm so disappointed at whoever did that video, whoever recorded that video. But he said it best. He said, "This is what happens when nerdiness is used to make black people feel superior to their own, essentially."
Mhm.
And it's just like it's so weird how history kind of just spins around on us because some of these same people will be the ones that be like, "No, y'all can't like anime now because when I was getting beat up or whatever, y'all didn't like it." But
Mhm.
then y'all are now using the fact that anime is basically part of the mainstream and that y'all are in the know, and now trying to flip it back around, being like, "Nah, this is our nerdy stuff. I'm better than y'all. Y'all can't be doing that over here." Like you're just giving the same energy that you were getting when the ye olden days of early anime, whatever
Mhm.
nonsense y'all want to do, when y'all were maidenless.
it.
Like,
Yo.
I hate it because like fundamentally, emotionally, like I understand it, but you're also an adult. Grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like you don't treat people the way you used to be treated and expect a different result. No, you just create more animosity. Grow up. Be like, oh yeah, that it doesn't work that way. All you do is just create a self fulfilling prophecy and keep on the same negativity. No, that's it. Like, I can't say any more than that. Like, grow the fuck up. Well, if y'all don't have anything else y'all want to add, I think we'll just wrap things up. And I kind of already hit on the head, but we'll just end with the quote of the night because, yeah, nah, I don't feel like talking about y'all maidenless people anymore. Yeah, that's gonna be my term this year, maidenless. I just love it because people are out here tripping, and y'all people are weird and hate women. But speaking of hate, as Coretta Scott King once said, hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. On that note, I've been your boy John.
This is Dev.
Let's go.
Be good, people, and then you will get maidens. Peace.